Hey Gundam Maniacs, welcome to another episode of Gundam Explained. In this episode, I guess in celebration of GBO2's 5th anniversary getting the high new Gundam as a suit, we're going to tier list out Amuro Ray's mobile suits. And in preparation for this, I came across some mobile suits I didn't even know he piloted, and some he didn't pilot, but they were made for him, so should we include it? I don't know, let's see. But before we get started, if you haven't, please subscribe. If you think this is a cool video, give it a like. Check the links in the description for ways you could support the channel. Also, check out our Discord. We have a lot of fun there, but let's get started. All right, so I honestly don't know the order I'm doing this in. This is just based off of, in the wiki, there's a list of the mobile suits he was in. So it starts with this RX-81ST G-Line Standard Armor. Let me get a screenshot of that. All right, so this one, I'm not too familiar with it, actually. It looks like he piloted it for a second. Let's see, while training pilots in a simulator, and this is in the Mobile Suit Gundam Zeta Gundam Define. Look, the parameters of how I'm tiering these are going to be all over the place, and I'm sure most of you are not going to agree. But I will say this looks cool. I'm willing to learn more about it, but I don't know too much about it, and he was just using it to train pilots. So I think I'm going to stick with a C on this. And you know what? Like, it's, how can you fit a mobile suit in this little box like this? Well, there we go. All right, next up we have the RGM-88X Jetta from Moon Gundam. Again, this is one I don't have too much background information about, and it's saying it's piloted by Amuro Ray's mobile suit team. So I don't know too many details about it. It looks like it was first in High Streamer and then redesigned again for Moon Gundam. But I gotta say, this thing looks amazing. This is a badass looking mobile suit. This like encompasses all the badass stuff once you get to that later era of UC. Not too late UC, but you know, right before, I guess after ZZ, before Char's counterattack. Just the looks alone and knowing it's a Jetta, I'm gonna put that at A. All right, I'm going to skip the RGM-89 Jagan and the TGM-79GM Trainer, and we're going to get right into this. I guess they're showing the High New as next. What about that? That's, you know, the mobile suit that, you know, was just got released in GBO2. I have the Robot Spirits, the Metal Build, the, what is it, the Real Grade. I have, but I don't know much about it. I haven't read Beltorchica's Children. I don't know the story behind it. It looks cool though. I gotta say though, but it's weird how the Real Grade has the blue and like other versions have the purple. And then there's the shield that sometimes has the purple dots on it that has the gradient, like we see the gradient on the fins there. Here's the thing, like I'm gonna put it at A because I actually think this is a really awesome suit, but I need to read the manga it's from to kind of get a better understanding of what its capabilities are. I mean, I guess it's Amuro, right? That's all you need. All right, we got the Rick Diaz, and you know what? I do not remember too much of Amuro riding this or piloting it. And Zeta, well, I don't remember. They list him here as a pilot, and he could have been in a second. I know he had the Rick DJ, so let's look at that. All right, I'm starting to see a running theme here because these moon-designed suits are exceptionally badass. Because we know from Zeta he had the DJ, and it looks like the story from this variant, this Rick DJ variant, is that the suits that Londo Bell's unit were using could just not work for Amuro. They needed something that could make use of his capabilities, wouldn't hold him back. And so they designed this suit. This suit looks badass. It's just another example of Moon Gundam suits looking badass. With very little knowledge, I'm still putting this at A just because looking at it, I love the design. And it's interesting because even with the DJ, from what we get in Zeta, I sometimes have a hard time with some of those mono-eyed Zeonic designs where they look a little too goofy. But later Gundam does an excellent job, and UC Gundam does an excellent job of modernizing the suits with them looking the same. And a lot of times that depends on the artist. Great job. All right, here's the modified Rick DJ. So it's kind of the same, I guess, just modified. I don't know if this was considered an upgrade to Amuro or I'm wrong about the previous suit and he really didn't use it. But I mean, look at it again. Not only does it look badass like the previous Rick DJ we were looking at, but also the colors really lend to it with that classic Gundam look, more new Gundam-y here. Also that Federation shield, super badass. It's like the classic RX-78-2 shield. This is getting an A. I mean, this seems really easy. for me. I don't know what it is to just give these things an A. We'll see though as we get further down. Okay, we got this RMS 099B Shizurum Dias. You know, it looks like the past few suits. This is kind of a double Zeta design, but it said it was only in the novel that Amuro Ray actually piloted it. I kind of don't even really care. It's okay. It's too tall for this list here, unfortunately. Can I easily crop that? It's going to be tiny. I'm just going to put it at E. It's not a complete failure, but I also don't really care too much about it. All right, next we have the MSZ 000 Zero Shiki. Apparently there's a version of this, a second unit that was piloted by Amuro. Now this is in the Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam Define manga. So just another badass suit that Amuro pilots. You know, to me it's a cool look. I'm not crazy about the red. That's more of a Char thing for me, unless, and they just don't have a picture of it here. There's like the Amuro, there is, hold on a second. This seems to be the main picture we have for Amuro's custom version. We can see it has the back sort of binders, a little different with the flight unit. That actually looks awesome. We see that A on the front skirt armor, and it has the high new paint scheme. So I kind of like that continuity. But yeah, let's see. What is my thought on this one? I like that it's using the high new kind of paint scheme. I'm putting this at B, or yeah, I'll put it at C. It's cool. You know what? I'll put it at B. Because C is just kind of like, yeah, that's cool, whatever. But B, the paint scheme, that continuity of Amuro's, high new mobile suit, that kind of tips it over the edge. All right, we've got the MSK 008 DJ. You know what? It's a goofy looking suit, not my style of mobile suit, but I do appreciate this design, especially when it came to Zeta, which is like my favorite. And it's something that's piloted by Amuro. Of course, that's what we're doing here, so I can't really use that as a factor. I'm just going to put it at C. I just love that this is a Zeta suit, and I appreciate Zeta. I appreciate the designs. It's just not my type of suit when it comes to what I like about mobile suits. Although it looks similar to some that are in that category A, but once it was more, I guess the design was more modernized and refined with the artwork style of Moon Gundam, I think that really, really resonates with me and what I like about mobile suit design. All right, here's the YRA 90A Mu Gundam. Yeah, that's right. First time hearing about it. I guess, it's cool. It looks like a new Gundam. Apparently, this was the design before the new Gundam, kind of the basis of it. So, for that, it has a cool look by default. But, I don't know too much about it, so I'll put it at C. And by the way, it appeared in Mobile Suit Gundam Advanced Operation video game. I'll have to check that out. And briefly mentioned in Gundam Sentinel. All right, here we go. The RX-93 New Gundam. What am I going to say about this? You know what? I like it. I think it's cool, but it's almost like they had an interesting idea, or let's say they had a bunch of different concepts for what they would want Amuro's Gundam to look like in Char's Counterattack. And maybe they decided to flip a coin to get to this design, because I think what we see from the mass production or even the Mu Gundam looks a little cooler. And now it could be sometimes I do complain about the artwork in Char's Counterattack. Sometimes, for some reason, it doesn't jive with me, and I think seeing it in this way is kind of disappointing. Like, if you see the proportions or the look of the real grade or the Verka master grade, those look excellent. And, it's cool what he does in the show. I'm not, I like asymmetry. I'm not cool with the asymmetrical wing look that they have. I prefer what we see out of the high new Gundam, but I don't want to knock it down. So C is just like, it's okay. It's cool. And anything below that, I would knock it for something specific. And I'm going to leave it here. I think it's going to get a lot of people mad, but oh well. All right, we got that RX-93FF New Gundam. That's the one where it's the new Gundam, just designed a little differently for it to have the statue. I'm not going to include that. I think they made up some story with it. It looks like a new Gundam, just with different colors. Not a big deal to me. There's even this CB9696G-CT reversible Gundam. That's something that's even, what is it? It's by Amuro Ray AI. That's a Gunpla. I'm not going to count that. So, for example. All right, we have this MSZ 009M Mega Zeta. That's a badass name. I can't say I've heard of it before. It's in Mobile Suit vs. Giant God of Legend Gigantus's Counterattack. What the heck? So it's saying known pilots Amuro Ray, Judo Ashdown. So this must be in... Okay, this is not considered part of the official Universal Century timeline. So it looks like a double Zeta. I'm not going to count it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. This one is super obvious. RX-78-2. I'm pretty sure we all know what this is going to be. I'm not even going to play around with that. It's S for a lot of reasons. One, it still even today is just a cool design. There's even been modern interpretations that really do a good job of keeping it just the classic look. Just a little bit of proportions here and there, I guess, depending on certain armor pieces, but it's really the same, and really that leads to everything else we see. So there's so many reasons. It's not just because it kind of changed. It's a pivotal story moment in lore, but also outside of lore, what it did to giant robots, anime, but also just the designs of other mobile suits in universe that have that look. Designs of mobile suits in AUs continue that look. The V-fin is iconic. There's so many reasons why this would always be considered S. And, you know, this is one of those interesting things, too, because how many people, and I've learned recently, there are so many people that enjoy Gundam and like Gundam and never really watched the original shows. How much does the new, or not the new Gundam, how much does the RX-78-2 influence that at all? I'm curious about that. So if anyone can post in the comments maybe that they don't care about the RX-78-2 at all, but they love Gundam, I'd be curious to see what you think. And now there's an RX-78-2 with B parts, an RX-78-3G3 Gundam, which actually is badass. It looks exactly the same, just a different color scheme. It's more realistic. I really like the look of that. There's the full armor, the Gundam C armor. They're pretty much all kind of the same thing, just with little armor bits on it. And they would, if I was to really dive into them specifically, yeah, maybe one would be an A or B, but then I don't know. I think that would just drive me crazy. Okay, here's a cool one. MSZ-006 3A Zeta Gundam 3A type. Can't say I really knew much about it before. It looks just like a Zeta Gundam, just the 3A type. Yeah, piloted by Amuro Ray in Gundam Evolve. And I guess it was featured in this Gundam Neo Experience 0087. You know, not too much about it. It was piloted by Karabe Ace Amuro Ray in the later stages of the Grips conflict and the first Neo-Zeon War. The White Zeta was put to use to great success during both wars. Some deny this as merely propaganda, similar to the story of the Zeta Plus, since the unit in question was also stated as an Amuro type. However, the master grade model confirmed Custom Zeta Plus was only tuned to fit Amuro's piloting skills. So that's another interesting thing about some of these mobile suits we're coming across is it's not necessarily that Amuro piloted them, but it was made for Amuro. And I would kind of include that because if there is a chance for Amuro to pilot it, that would be pretty badass. So a couple things with this. I like the Zeta design, and I kind of like the colors here because it kind of goes with that high new look. I'm going to throw this in B. And, you know, I wanted to ask, too, for those out there, are there any other mobile suits, and we've seen two others so far, that have that high new color scheme that are not piloted by Amuro? I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but my brain doesn't work that well. So let me know if you know. Okay, now we have the ORX-013 Gundam Mark V. Yeah, this is an Amuro Ray custom specifically. Let's see. It was a custom unit designed for Amuro Ray. This has to do with the Gundam Sentinel photo novel. You know, I don't have too much background information on that, so if anyone else does, feel free to throw it in. Yeah, because sometimes it could be that looks like, yeah, something was assigned to him, but there's no records of him actually sorting in it. So I'd be curious if anyone has any more information about that. Let's see, with this look, I'm actually going to put it in C because I kind of like that look of that. The later, is it the Mark Vs? You know, it has the Dovenwolf look to it. Again, it's a really cool evolution of Gundam designs where they are considered Gundams, and it has some of the staples like the V-fin, some venting, but it also has its own unique take to it. So, again, C's not bad. C's pretty cool. All right, and it says here that Amuro piloted the gun take from Operation V, and off the top of my head, I actually can't remember that being the case, although I wouldn't doubt it. There was, times when in the TV show when the white base team was sorting out, they would be in one or the other. I'm going to put this at A because, like, I'm not a huge fan of gun tanks, really. I kind of don't think about them. I don't really think of gun tanks. I think of mobile suits. But it is cool, and I feel like that's another example of they've done a good job of modernizing it, and that whole Operation V setup is pretty badass. All right, another one from Operation V, and now this I do remember Amuro using it. This is the gun cannon. I also like the look of this suit too. Something that's really neat about the gun cannon I haven't really thought of is alongside the designs of like the GM and the RX-78 too, it still has very unique features in terms of like the legs. That could be part of the stability of having the giant cannons on its shoulders and having to fire those cannons, even though it does do that position where it goes on its hands. But also seeing how the joint system works. It's a very interesting and unique look. So, I'm going to put it at A. I think I kind of enjoy some of the better modern interpretations like of origin of it, but it's still like a badass design in a lot of ways. So, yeah. All right. We've got this Rigazee, right? This is the RGZ-91 Rigazee. This was the first one that Amuro was piloting in Char's counterattack. And I like it. I think it's cool. I think the custom looks cooler. I don't know where to put this because I think it's cool. I think it's gonna go with B. What stops it from being as cool as these up here? The head is not the coolest design to me with the two little antenna, the way they stick out. It's not really V-fin. It's not bad. I'll just keep it at that. All right, now we have the RGZ-91B Rigazee Custom. This is one that I think is pretty badass. I love that it's like the best combination of Zeta type mobile suits and the classic Gundam type mobile suit, and it transforms. Man, you know what? This is going to be a personal one for me that I don't think everyone will agree with, but I'm going to put it at S. It's just like a badass, like, as much as I love like the kind of the wings style funnels that like the new Gundam and the Hi-Nu have, I would still love if they were able to incorporate some sort of transformation to those, since they were custom suits for Amuro. A lot of times when you'd get transformation out of a mobile suit, it was a limited production. And so for something that limited production, I would love it. It would be so badass. Oh, I'm thinking about it now. If the Hi-Nu Gundam could transform, but like the wings were part of its kind of, the funnels were part of its like wing system. I wonder if someone's coming up with that. I'd love to see something like that. Wow, and there we go. That does it, actually. I got to the bottom of the list. There's a few things I skipped over that were where it's not really part of Universal Century canon, but again, that really depends. There's the animation is one continuity, novels are another continuity, the manga another, but anything where there's a cool story about Amuro Ray, I wanted to include it in here. And I gotta say, he generally really doesn't have a lot of cool looking mobile suits. Is that a hot take? If we look at my list here, there's a lot of stuff that, the things that are exclusive to him are like the Hi-Nu, the new Gundam, and the RX-78 too, but everything else is sort of based on other mobile suits. It would be neat if there were just some other like really custom to him mobile suits, sort of like how Camille came up with the Zeta. Not that he came up with it, but he kind of helped design it. So anyway, that is a tier ranking of Amuro Ray's mobile suits. Let me know what you think below, and please be gentle. Anything that you would put on S that I didn't. And in fact, out of all these suits, there's not really anything that's bad. The one that I put down on E was just because I don't know too much about it, and it's just okay. But those moon-designed suits are top tier. So anyway, well, I guess A tier. That's kind of top, isn't it? Well, anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Please check the links in the description for ways you can support the channel or even join our Discord. And actually check out other things our supporters are doing. But until next time, we'll talk later.